Okay, I'm going to make a video on how to set up the microscope for use with the FlyCap software for your micro load frame. Okay, so I'll exit this first. So when you're on this desktop, we need to go to Point Gray FlyCap 2, find the grasshopper camera. Click OK, and then make sure we're zoomed out all the way so we can see our specimen here. In this case, we can see a live image of it. If it's frozen or nothing is changing when you're adjusting the lighting, hit this button here and go to trigger or strobe and make sure this is unchecked. Exit out of that. Now what you're seeing is the image of this beam on the load frame where we have our microscope. These are our adjustments here. The shutter, make sure the shutter is open. We're on setting 1. We've got a couple lights, and this is all the way up, and the lighting is on. Just to show the setup example of what's working now. We can twist this, make sure this is completely parallel to the borders of that of the viewfinder. If you need to adjust the location of your specimen, either choose to move the microscope, or you can lift the load frame and shimmy it around where it is necessary. We have 2 microscope types, or I guess 2 magnifications. So we can go to the higher magnification here. And if we focus, you can see, much higher magnification around the crack tip or whatever your area of interest is. We can use scales in these guys to place them on the specimen so we can measure, whatever this thickness may be, or whatever is necessary. Typically for the DIC software, we will use the lower magnification at the crack tip, and I'll often make sure that the crack tip, depending on the orientation, goes into the frame about 1/4 of its length. So in this case, the Teflon is coming in from the bottom to the top, so I'd make sure the Teflon is here, or if it's from the top to the bottom, maybe the Teflon ends here. And then we'll have the speckle pattern, and we take pictures along the loading cycle for use in the DIC software. In order to get a good image, you have to adjust these lights, and it's pretty sensitive, so take some time. Don't try and do it quickly, and eventually the lighting will be such that you get a good image. And then we can charge these batteries in that corner over there. To make sure we can trigger the camera to take pictures, we will make sure that this is in the Silotech software. Make sure that this trigger every n samples, if this is the same as the sampling rate, then that will correspond to a trigger every second. So you'll take 1 picture every second. Then you can come over here. This is to the FlyCap software, and then we'll have to click this settings and enable the trigger. You can exit out of that, and you see the frame is frozen now. Then we can hit this record button, make sure we're in whatever file you want. We want to capture, it's a really big number, so that we'll never not capture frames until we specifically stop the test. And then we make sure this image format is BMP. Then we can start recording, and you see that nothing is being taken. That's because we haven't started running this test yet, so nothing's being triggered. When you're done here, make sure that you uncheck this so that those who use it later aren't confused. If you want to take just one picture, hit this save button, the floppy disk, and you can save it in any file that you want, as well as in any sort of file type that you want. And that is this. That's how we use the microscope for our micro DIC testing.